So let me tell you a story about a cave. A cave story, if you will. So basically, this is a game about a guy with amnesia who wakes up in a cave full of rabbit people until Dr. Man and his friends Emo Teen and Lunchbox show up and start kidnapping the bunnies. Now, the game was initially released as a free-to-play download in Japan in like 2004. Eventually, some Americans got a hold and were like, man, we want to play this game and read what's happening. And luckily, for the translation team, Pixel did them a favor and decided to teach the player how to play the game without holding their hand. So let's see from that what we can learn. So, step 1. The game puts you in a room. It got some water, a floppy disk, and a computer monitor with a little tiny heart on it, and a door. And you'll notice, quote here, that's the spoiler by the way, I'm dead serious. You'll notice that he's on this platform, giving you some space to figure out the game's controls. Now, if you really want to die, you can. All you gotta do is walk off the platform. Lesson number 1, you got gravity. Lesson number 2, falling in water, probably not good because you got a meter reading air going from 100 to 0. Humans, being air-breathing creatures, we tend to like having air, so you can probably assume it's not good, run out. So, you drown, don't worry, game tosses you right back to the starting point. Now, if you actually didn't want to die, you'll notice that jumping isn't enough and you gotta walk to the shore and then jump out, teaching you how water interacts with the player. Now, if we shift our attention to the right, we'll probably assume that the floppy disk is related to saving and the heart is related to healing in some way. Interact with them, boom, theory confirmed. Now, using your newfound powers of interaction, you go through the door, and if you look to the right, you'll notice some blocks making a wall and a cute little "and it hurts you." We learned some things. There are not friendly things, like 95% of things are gonna try and kill you. That having that heart number bar there is a good thing. Realizing that going right isn't viable at the moment, you decide to go left and you fall over some spikes, actually avoiding them. Now, if you think that's gonna happen round 2, you're wrong. In fact, you're gonna be dead wrong because you die. Note how it only does 5 damage. Psst, pay attention. It's gonna be on the test. Upon respawning, you're gonna realize you're at the floppy disk and not where you started. So, lesson here, floppy disk are checkpoints. And that dying is relatively painless, at least for you, not for Quote so much. She kind of explodes, so yeah. Sorry, buddy. Now, after you've learned to avoid spikes, you're probably going to do the same thing when these bats show up, and you're going to notice a little tube with the heart on it. So naturally, you decide to interact with it, and look, what do you know? Now you have 6 health. And if you accidentally touch a spike, you'll notice you ain't dead. So you go along feeling pretty good about yourself, and you notice the game throws a challenge of pure skill your way. Jumping. And once you've completed your trial, you become acquainted with the floaty jump physics of the game. So, you go on further, find a panther skull, walk in, as it's the obvious and only other thing to do. And inside you find a guy who's asleep, so you rob him and take his gun. Moral of the story is just have goodies in them. Now, weapon in tow, you decide to go pew 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 to all the things that hurt you earlier. So, after you kill the first enemy that hurt you, you notice that he's got some buddies. You go open season on him, and you'll also notice you gotta kill the door, but that's okay, because you're given enough time to react to the door actually being a demon. You now find yourself in Mimika Village, where you're introduced to King and to Koro. Now, you're given not exactly the clearest of direction here, but that's okay because it does teach the players several things. Namely, you learn some plot threads, and exploration leads to rewards as you can find this here heart container. Eventually, you find Tokoro in this here building, and she causes a measly 1 damage to the player, indicating that you're gonna have to shoot her. Then, Misery and Balrog show up, take your kill, and you're given an optional boss fight, which, upon completion, you learn 2 things. 1, boss fights put you in a restricted area, and 2, the Doritos are good for you. Like, seriously, you were just given them as a reward, so if you hadn't picked up on it now, it's pretty obvious. There you go. After this, you go on a short grave robbing quest to get a key to a dead guy's house, and then you hop in the teleporter to the egg corridor. Upon entering the egg corridor, you'll probably notice that there's a white thing running along the ground. Its design implies that it's going to damage you, unlike the passive Mimiga. Also, just past it, you'll notice another heart container, implying that you're going to be able to sneak past this thing and take the power up. After you do that, you're going to notice these rhino-type enemies, and if you miss jumping over them, you'll land on top and realize that there are some enemies that can be used like platforms. Or if you decide to do like I do and just shoot the thing, you're going to collect some more Doritos, and you're probably going to level up the Polar Star for the first time. This is indicated by the level up, and you'll notice that your shots look different and their damage output is increased. Eventually, you'll run into a type of enemy that can shoot it, quote. It'll be the first of several that can do that, and then you walk into this room, and you'll find a box. And on the way to that box, you'll notice a bunch of computers. You can really ignore this blue one, but it's pretty much going to tell you what you need to do next. Now, as you naturally head to the box upstairs, you're going to go by these monitors, and they're all going to turn green. You collect the weapon, figure out what it does, and you notice, oh man, I took some damage. I should probably go heal. So you do that, and then you decide, hey, I might as well go finish filling out all these computers. What's that? 2 of them are red. So you get the information, make like an Autobot, and decide to pop in the egg, pop out, shields are down, and now you're part of a nutritious breakfast. So, you do the boss fight, find out that shooting their projectiles can cancel out yours, bada boom bada bing, you killed Igor, and then you find out the one thing you do a lot in this game, backtracking. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about CaveStory today. If you liked this video, you can like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do for the next video yet, so you can leave suggestions. So yeah, see you next time.